Okay, this is troubleshooting of Sainsmart DSO138 oscilloscope. Going to plug it in and see if the screen comes up. Just in the last couple days it's actually started coming up. Previous to this, for whatever reason, it has only ever been a white screen, and it's coming up. Okay. And it looks like it has successfully booted. Okay. So, I guess first thing I will do is try and verify that it does in fact not pick up a trace. So, per the instruction sheet, I'm going to hook up the positive side of the probe to the self-test loop and leave the negative unhooked, and I do not get any kind of a trace. That's with ground coupling. Switch it to AC and DC. Currently on 10 millivolt DC, 2 millisecond, and normal trigger with the scope apparently running and trigger level set to 0 millivolts. If I take that off and tap it with my finger, I get nothing. Try and run different all three couplings, and I get nothing as well. So 1 volt scale. Two volts, 5 volts. Decrease the sample. It's all the way up to 2 seconds. And then back down to 50 microseconds, and no trace. Okay, so I'll take some voltages. Yesterday, while taking the pictures, during the voltage taking, it started rebooting on its own and went to a white screen again. So let's see, we'll see. Hopefully I can keep my hands out of the way here for this. Start on the bottom with V1. And V1 is giving 3.04 volts. V2, 3.76. Move up to the top. AV negative gives 0.68. AV positive is 4.97. 3.3 volt is 3.32, and the 5 volt is solid 5 volts. And then I can also, with the screen on, I can test V positive over here. And that gives me 10.1. Let's see, is there anything else I can reach with the screen on? Looks like I can maybe check D2, the positive side of D2. Oh, there it rebooted. That is giving me 10.9911. And I do believe that is all that I can reach with the screen on. I'm going to let it reboot and take a measurement at D2 again and see if it reboots again when I did that. Okay, back up in scope mode, and let's try D2 again here. Okay, and that's apparently not why it rebooted. Excuse me. I wanted to verify that putting the positive probe on the positive side of D2 did not cause it to reboot. Looks like it was random. Okay, so I'm going to power down and remove the screen. Okay, as you can see, the screen is actually mounted fairly crooked to the board. I don't know if that may have something to do with why it randomly comes on. See if I can get a good view of the solder joints here. Well, the solder joints look good. I have tested all of those for short circuits, and they all do test logically with what I would expect them to based on the diagram I have for the screen pins. Okay, so I'm going to power back up without the screen on and get the remainder of the measurements. All right. We will start with L1. That is 0.17 volts. And then I'm going to go down to test point 25, which is marked as a V positive. And there I get 0.17 as well. Okay. Now, test the cathode side of D1. I get no voltage there at all. Off the positive side, I do get 0.17 there as well. Same as on the input of L1. Okay. Next, I'm going to test R38. And that is giving me 6.10. Output of R38 is giving me 6.45. Inside of R39 is giving me minus 1.02. I'm kind of jumping around a little. It's like minus 0.133. See, next I'm going to check. It's like R40, 0.82 on R40. And then the OSC is 0.31. I'll just double check here, but I believe that is all of the measurements that the troubleshooting sheet shows for voltage references. Yes, that is. Okay. So one last time I'm going to power down and put the screen back on. And power up again. And it's still booting. For a week it's been giving me nothing but a white screen, and all of a sudden it's decided to start booting regularly. Unfortunately, it's not giving me any trace though. And as observed, some of these voltages are very far off from where they should be, according to the voltage reference sheet. And back into scope mode. Just check again. And I'm not getting anything on the 1 kHz 3.3 volt square wave. Okay, and then just one last thing that I want to show. Going to power down, and just going to show the power supply here so that you guys can see. If I can get it to focus, it is in fact 120 volt AC, 9 volt DC, 600 milliamp, center positive, 5.5 by 2.1 power jack. Okay, so I'll upload this to YouTube, and hopefully this gives you everything you need to get my scope up and running. Thank you.